welcome back to the last episode of the of the Polishing Podcast. Because if I know anything about internet disagreements, is that nothing can be achieved from talking about it, and this is the end of our friendship. No, but this is huge spoiler. If you don't want any spoilers for the end of Game of Thrones and anything about the last season or anything, do not listen. Do not click this. I swear to God, if like nobody thankfully was like, oh, you guys talked about it the day after it aired last time, but I'm literally saying it at the top. Spoiler, do not listen if you don't want to know the end of the Game of Thrones series. But yes, Nico, otherwise known as Nico All Powerful. I'm joined by my co-host, Pixelated Apollo.
Hello.
And we have not talked about this yet because I wanted everything fresh, but I texted him last night and was like, there it is. I always text you very neutrally after watching an episode because I don't know if you had seen it yet, like if you were waiting for Brittany or anything. So instead of being like, oh my God, did you see that?
I can't believe Arya's queen.
Something along those lines. I'm just like, and there it is. And it's done.
I make sure not to look at your text either until, just in case.
Yeah. I know
because I usually watch it pretty late. Like, yeah.
I mean, Allie and I are like, I think it was like 8:56, and she was like, "Oh, it's on the app." I'm like, "All right, let's start it." Like, we get into it as soon as possible, so I don't have to stay away from the internet. But yeah, last night, series finale, Game of Thrones. We're gonna get into it. Before we get into it, I'd like to shout out a quick sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. God, I wish I could actually do that. No, if this is the first time listening to the Polishing Podcast, I'm Nico, otherwise known as Nico All Powerful. You can follow me on Twitter at Nico All Powerful it's Nico Powerful now. I forgot I changed my Twitter handle because I spell my name correctly now on everything. At Nico Powerful with 2 C's in the Nico. And YouTube, Nico All Powerful, it's still spelled wrong. You can't actually change your YouTube URL after you create the channel, I found out. You can change your display name, but not the actual URL. And the podcast is on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, all those good things. And then, yeah, if you want to plug your shit real quick, Trent, go right ahead.
Big Leather Daddy on Apollo on YouTube and Twitter.
All right, so let's get into it. Spoiler alert, one last time, just in case. Okay, what did you think? If you clicked on this, you're dumb. But yeah,
I was kind of laughing at it after Jon Snow killed Dany.
Well, see, I agree because like symbolically Drogon melting the throne looked cool. Logically, it makes no damn sense whatsoever.
They're very intelligent, and he's like, yo, you killed my mother? Oh well.
And then burns the throne into molten metal.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it looks cool, but I was sitting there like, why is Drogon doing that?
Yeah, it was the scene after. I mean, I didn't even really care about that. I was just like, whatever. It was the scene after that where weeks have gone by, but you didn't really know at first, and it was kind of confusing.
I mean, I picked up on it because as soon as I saw Tyrion's beard was longer, I was like, that time has passed. Like, I knew immediately. I was like, you don't get that much more facial hair in like a day or two. Like, something has happened.
Yeah. I mean, I knew time has passed. It was just like so, I don't know. It's just like so out of nowhere. And then you had all your like.
That's a lot of stuff in this season. Is okay. I guess this is happening now.
Yeah, and you had all the like lords of the 7 kingdoms there, and it was just like, what is happening? I don't know. It's just, that's the part I was laughing at. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why is Grey Worm holding prisoners? Like, this is really dumb. I mean,
in my mind, it would, like, since they occupied King's Landing, like even if
No,
Dany's
yeah,
dead.
Grey Worm has no power. Like all the kingdoms could gang up on the Unsullied and dead. You know, like why are they negotiating with him?
I
The
don't
only
know.
reason Grey Worm was powerful is because he was like, you know, under Dany, and Dany put him in a high power. Now that she's dead, he's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't think about it there. I was just like, eh. In my head, I was like, okay, well, they're laying siege to the city because even Sansa was like, there's like a bunch of Northerners outside of King's Landing as is.
Right.
So they're definitely ready to come in and get Jon Snow out and get Tyrion. Well, I mean, probably not. Well, no, Sansa likes Tyrion, so she'd probably save him too. But like, so they're ready, but instead they're like, let's do a hostage negotiation instead of. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like Davos would have been like, please, God, no more fighting, please.
Yeah, but like,
But we
if
didn't
you
get to
only-
see that.
I mean, yes, the Unsullied have magical powers of growing numbers out of nowhere.
Yeah,
but
when we saw that overarching shot of all the Unsullied, I was like, that looks like a lot more than they kept saying they had
Yeah.
left.
yeah, it's like they just keep shipping them in from.
They reproduce by budding, just like SpongeBob.
Yeah. And then when Davos offered the Reach to Grey Worm, it's like you realize none of these soldiers can reproduce.
Yeah, I think that's why he was trying to give them land because, I mean, they'll have it for one generation and then they're gone. Like they can't continue the lineage. Somebody else would be able to claim the Reach after that.
And he said nobody's in the Reach. Yes, there are. There's people who live there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
like,
they're not lords.
I'm sure someone in a family line, like some second cousin, can take control. And imagine them having to step aside for a bunch of Unsullied. Like, it's just silly.
I know.
I don't know.
I just think it's funny that because like obviously they don't care about the common folk because Samwell's like, what if the people decide who's the leader, and they all laugh at him.
Yeah, that was funny. And they made this claim of voting for the king, but I'm like, that, you think that's a better system, but that never goes well.
Yeah.
Just war will break out because someone didn't like the vote. And okay, what I found really stupid was Sansa being like, everyone's like, aye. And then Sansa turns to Bran's like, Bran, buddy, I think you'd be a great king, but I want to be independent. Like,
Yeah.
I could imagine everybody else was like, wait, that was an option?
Yeah, like, wait, we could have been an independent kingdom. And I bet Brad would have been like, nah, you can't, but she can. But I just found it funny because it seemed like when Tyrion was like, why not Bran be king? It was like Sansa was like, he doesn't want to be king. It's because I think she wanted to be queen. And then everybody started going, aye. And she was like, what? And like she had a moment of internal panic.
Yeah.
Like, wait, no, this is going completely opposite of how I thought it would.
How can I change? I'll just be Queen of Winterfell.
Queen of the North, because
Yeah,
the Northern
Queen of
men
the
don't want to kneel to the King's Landing king.
Even though he's a Northman. But
Yeah, I feel like she made that shit up so she could still be a queen. Because in the very first season, she's like, "I've always wanted to be a queen."
Yeah.
When
She was
she's
so
a
annoying.
tiny child.
I
Yeah.
love Joffrey.
I mean, she was a
But that's-
kid, you know.
That's how she was in the books too.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of stupid because
it was. I mean, I don't know. I get why she did it because it really did seem like no matter what, that from her perspective, the North did not want to be under rule anymore except for themselves. But Bran is a Northerner, so it wouldn't. I don't know. That part,
but
is kind of
I think every kingdom doesn't want to be ruled by anyone. Like I don't know.
That part.
I would
that's
if I was
confusing.
there and she was like, "Can I be? We're gonna be independent." I was like, I'd be like, "Whoa, hold on here. Me too. I want to be a king."
I'm surprised Yara didn't go. Wait, that's an option because like
Yeah.
we don't. We're on the sea all the time. We don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Also,
So-
her undying loyalty to Daenerys completely changed as soon as there was a vote.
Yeah, I know.
God.
She's like,
The
Dany liberated us.
and then I just instantly like, well, Bran the Broken, which also what a terrible name for him.
Well, I don't think it's that bad because like there's been many cases of kings having like what seemingly bad names,
Well, I
but they're
meant
like a
like it's just like it feels like a personal dig. Like, yeah, you got no leg, you can't use your legs, lol. Brand the broken.
yeah. I mean, there was the in Vikings. I forgot the guy's name, but he's a real historical king, and they called him the Boneless because he was like born with a. But it's just kind of like through a challenge, he still became king.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really see it as like a dig or anything, but
Yeah, it just felt like they could have come up with like any other name, but Tyrion instantly went, well, he can't walk, so fuck it.
I just the whole Bran thing being king is like the whole like towards the end he's just like I'm not Bran anymore, I'm something else, and then he's like you want to be the Lord of Winterfell. He's like I don't want to be, no, I am not a lord, I don't want to be anything. You want to be king? Hell yeah, I do.
Well, he didn't
You know?
say hell yeah. He was just like, why do you think I came all this way? Also,
Yeah.
at things I've seen online, people are saying, like, because apparently, like, somebody looked up green sight and it has clairvoyant, like, it's not only past, present, it's also future. A lot of people are saying Bran knew this moment was coming from since he became the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, yeah, and someone said the line "chaos is a ladder."
Mm-hmm.
When he said that, the Littlefinger was like much deeper than we all thought, meaning that he knew the chaos that was about to happen. He was going to use it to slingshot himself to the throne of King's Landing.
Well, he just flew when he turned into all those little ravens during the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
Into
He's just like watching like popcorn, like, well, here he comes. This is where Arya's gonna kill her.
Yeah, because I saw someone saying like Danny's downfall into madness was like it was always foreshadowed, but without Jon knowing his true lineage, it wouldn't have been as guaranteed that she would go mad, because now that she knows she has a direct competitor who has a better line to the throne, it like made her snap more. I still think any and everything that we have questions about for this season is due to pacing and writing, and if there were more episodes with more detail, I feel like this season as a whole would have gone over a lot better with a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm fine with the ending.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it got there was kind of stupid.
Yeah, because like my thing is like Allie and I were talking, it's like Daenerys' downfall into burning all of King's Landing to the ground is very quick, and like the whole thing where she's like, we see Varys with one of his little birds, and the little bird's like, she's not eaten in days and won't come out of her room. It's like, why didn't we have an episode dedicated to that, where it's days after Missandei dies, and you can see the slow descent of her like figuring out what she's gonna do, and like seeing her like just go twitchy eyed and like, you know,
poor writing. That's it. I mean, it's just yeah, and they could have like had the second dragon still alive and die after the bells are rung. That was like the last straw.
Yeah, like it just literally there's a couple things that don't, like, why did Euron exist at all? No, that's not, you can't fix that with this season.
Yeah. Why did Euron even give a shit about killing Jaime Lannister?
Especially since nobody knows that he killed Jaime Lannister.
And don't even get me started about Jaime and Cersei under the shallow pile of rubble that they easily could have dodged if they just stayed in the middle of the dungeon.
Yeah, that, like, I liked the scene of Tyrion finding them. That felt emotional. But when you look around, it's like, this should look a lot more collapsed than it does.
Yeah, it's just like a little section they were under. If they were just in the middle of the dungeon, they would have been fine. It's just, and it was like when you see the rubble fall on them, it looks like just big stones, not like a handful of bricks, you know?
Yeah, it made, God, like,
it was a good, like,
I liked seeing Tyrion upset and emotional, because I like Peter Dinklage as an actor and Tyrion as a character, and he sold it to me. But looking around, it's like, there's not enough rubble here. There's not. This dungeon should be nearly completely collapsed.
Yeah.
So that was silly. Yeah. So obviously these are the cons of the episode and not the pros. I hate the fact that you were right about John, because
Yeah.
we were playing. So the backup, we were playing Mordhau, and I said that John would become king because the show's being very predictable, and if they were going by, what seemed like what was going to happen, that would happen. And you threw out this kind of non-statement where you were just like, "Hey, I wish he would go north of the wall and be with the free people," and you were fucking right, because he got sent back to the fucking Night's Watch.
Yeah, which is really stupid. Okay, like no, like I knew he was gonna go north. I just had a feeling like he's too obvious to be king, and nobody. And another reason I think they sent him north is because he's part of the Night's Watch and he can't have offspring, so he won't have any children claiming the throne because he's Targaryen. But
I think Ali mentioned this. He'd probably end up becoming king of the free people, though, of like beyond the wall.
yeah, like what's the point of the Night's Watch anymore? Like they defended basically the rest of the realm against the wild, the free folk. So
I think that what I was talking to Ali about this last night, since we look at America and our prison system, even though a lot of people argue about the death penalty, it still exists in a lot of states. It's not gone, even though we've found that the death penalty, in a lot of studies, is not a deterrent for crime. Why wouldn't they also, in this universe, have the Night's Watch has always been oh, if you're not willing to go underneath a sword or an axe or whatever to get executed, you could have a life sentence on the Night's Watch. It would make sense that instead of being oh, well, we should get rid of that now that we know we're okay and safe, instead it's just no, keep sending criminals and stuff to life sentences towards the north.
yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just kind of weird that you would arm them with weapons and train them for nothing.
I mean,
I guess
I don't know. It does seem silly that it's oh, they're not, because the wildlings aren't trying to get beyond the wall because they're not trying to run from the Night King and the Whites anymore. But I don't know, something protecting borders, something. I don't know.
It was the episode was really kind of boring too. It was just kind of, I don't know, just the way they wrapped it up. I was hoping that Jon Snow and the free folk would find those dead bodies again and the symbols. You know how the whites would lay out the limbs and make symbols. I was hoping they would come across that again and just kind of end it with oh, you're not out of the clear. You know, but that it was just too happy. Martin explained that it would end bittersweet. I'm this is just sweet. I don't see anything bitter about this.
I mean, there are a lot of people that think that's bitter because they either like Dany or really thought Jon should have been the king or thought there should have been some epic finale. But I'm okay with the show ending with an end. There's not there's Arya going west of Westeros, which is a cool concept, but it doesn't matter. We don't need to know what she finds, what she does. We just know that she's doing it, and
she goes full Christopher Columbus there for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and that doesn't really track to me, because it's she went to the where are the Faceless Men? Are they in Bravos?
Bravos?
Yeah.
I think.
So she went there because she was I want to go learn how to do this thing so I can assassinate the people I hate, which makes sense. But her all of a sudden being I want to go explore stuff is why?
Yeah. I thought she would just be some almost a vigilante fighting crime, kind of Batman of Westeros.
She'd become Batwoman of Westeros.
Yeah, because that's always what she wanted, growing up, to be a soldier or a warrior, and just her ending with just sailing away,
she's just becoming Jack Sparrow
for no reason. Johnson's you can visit the north, and she's I'm not staying. It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. It doesn't. like whatever. But like the whole the only thing I take away from it is it's not important to the story because we don't need to know what happens. It's like this is the end of the show. We don't need to know what Arya finds or if she just gets like they accidentally hit a reef and they just sink and then she's like, well, I guess I gotta swim back to King's Landing. Or like it doesn't or just drown because we don't know that she can swim. I think she can, but whatever. It doesn't hold any weight to the actual show itself, which is I'm fine with. And then I did like the scene where fucking Tyrion was sitting at the table of like the council for the king, and just like when he was sitting there, I think Ali said it was like one of the very first seasons where he sits there and then he fixes all the chairs. They come in and they instantly like mess up all the chairs. He's like, wait, no, god damn it. It's just,
okay, and that whole council scene was really stupid to me.
Really? I liked it because it felt like we were back in like season 2 or whatever, where we were still with councils and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, but the council, like, I felt like half the people there had no right to be there. Like Tyrion, yeah, because he's a smart guy, and then you have Sam, who didn't even finish his training.
Hey, but now he's a Meister, or Grand
but he
Maester.
Didn't finish. He did. He's like he didn't even graduate the Meister training, which was like this is like fan service. And then Bronn being there, a cutthroat sellsword, really counseling, as a king's. It's just like, why was Bronn there? Like.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about Bronn being the master of coin, but I'm like, who's better at coin than someone who has been paid in coin for so long? Probably a lot of people, but still.
Yeah, he's just good at getting it. He's not good at managing it. But
I mean, he might be. I don't know.
I don't know, but I just seeing Bronn there was just like, okay. I wasn't a fan of the council. I mean, I guess Brienne being the leader
Captain of the Kingsguard.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But overall, I just didn't really care for that scene. And what else was I gonna say that was kind of silly to me? I forgot. It might come back to me. So
okay. I liked the scene just because those are all the characters. I liked all those characters. Davos being the master of ships makes sense because his whole pirating days. And he doesn't like fighting, so there's no reason for him to be master of war. Though it doesn't seem to make sense that they would need a master of whispers, seeing as how Bran can be anywhere at any time he wants.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's like. I guess if you're just gonna keep the council the same, so when Bran dies, you can have that in place.
Well, maybe Bran just can't see everything.
I mean, he could turn into a rat and then just run around King's Landing listening to people talk, like. Or not turn into. He can warg into a rat. I should gotta be more specific.
I guess since he can go back in time, because what I was gonna say is that there's no way you can listen on to everyone.
Yeah,
but if you can go back in time, then you can.
So it's like because even if he has a general idea of where he needs to be, like he could figure it out if he's given enough time.
Yeah.
So, and that was a little silly. I did like the scene where Podrick comes in and he's a Kingsguardman because, if he was Brienne's squire the entire time, then it would make sense that she would want him to be a knight in the Kingsguard.
Yeah. That was cool. I mean, I didn't really think too much of it.
I just like seeing it. I just liked seeing it. That's all. I was like, Podrick, he's got that dick that makes whores want to pay him instead.
Yeah. Which is so stupid.
It was funny at that time though. They were like, we didn't need payment. He was just real good at it.
Yeah, like because a whore wouldn't take money just because he's really good at it. But anyways, it was funny though. It was funny. Man, what was I gonna say that I just thought was so silly?
I don't know.
I don't know. It just
Bran having his throne attached to him.
Oh yeah.
Who needs an iron throne when you have a throne on wheels?
Yeah, I mean, Bran's pretty ruthless if you think about. If he really knew the future
and knew that all this was come to pass, yeah,
he's pretty heartless just to be king.
Look,
But
maybe. I don't know.
I'm look, most likely the books will end this way.
Yeah, because
That's what.
didn't George R. R. Martin say they were working towards the same ending?
Yeah. So like I said, I like the ending. I like. I mean, I always knew Danny would become the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean,
but
there had been foreshadowing for that since she was introduced.
yeah, and it's just it'll be really exciting to read the books and see how she gets there.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be exciting. So yeah, I don't know. There was a scene. I like the scene where she went all full dictator and explained
Oh, like
her reason.
we're gonna go free everyone in the world. Winterfell, fucking
Yeah,
yeah,
how she's like righteous, and she's like, what if someone else thinks they're right? And they're like, well, they don't have a dragon. I don't know if she said that, but like,
No, she doesn't. She says they don't get to choose.
yeah, they don't get to choose basically,
She went
which is
full
the same thing
tyrant.
as saying they don't have a dragon.
Yeah.
And it's just so like she's it's even though it didn't really make sense that she went full dictator like that, but
that quickly.
yeah,
Because
but it
I was just gonna say Amelia Clark, even on not a social media, but like in an interview, was talking about how like she didn't like how quickly the turn happened. But it's like, unfortunately, she can't do anything about that. It's like these are the scenes you get to shoot. These are the lines you get to read. You got to make it the best you can do with what you're given, and that's it. Which sucks because like it does feel very quick for John to just be like, but she's our queen, and then just stab her anyway. Because like even she was like, why didn't they just like talk about it? And it's like, if we had more episodes with more time, we probably could have figured out why they didn't just try to talk about this for a second, or make her seem like her turn to tyrant was a lot slower and gradual, and then cement it more. But we don't get to do that, which sucks. It's like Game of Thrones is going to go down as a series that's very good, that's marred by 2 seasons that were fairly rushed, it feels like.
bad and badder.
I think I think I like this season more than some of the stuff in the last season though.
Yeah, I just wish they did 10 episodes. I don't. And like I felt like the first 2 episodes or the second episode was just a waste of time.
Yeah, there was a lot of setup for the battle for Winterfell.
Yeah, they should have just did it in 1 episode to save an entire episode for character building.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just like a bunch of characters getting together and talking about the past. And I don't know. I think in the first episode they should have done that, and the second one was the Siege of Winterfell.
Yeah, and then we could have had one more episode. Felt like it would have made all of this stuff towards the end of the season and series a lot better.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, that's the show. Like, they're not going to go back. As much as those hundreds of thousands of people signing that petition want them to redo. Million at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, God. As much as those million people want the show to be redone for this season, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, see, I can't go that far because it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I enjoyed the early story, like, it's a fake TV show. There's bigger priorities in this world.
Yeah. That and, like, the books are going to come out. Like, people are always like, George R. R. Martin might die before the books end. And it's like, I feel like every time someone says that publicly, he's like, I'm just not going to write today. And then walks away from his typewriter.
Well, even if he does die, someone else will finish it for him. I'm sure there's somebody who knows more detail. Like, he probably, like, wrote it out in, an outline, and someone could just kind of... It might not be as good, but... But I'm sure Winds of Winter is very close to being finished.
Yeah.
So...
I haven't read the books at all, and I don't know that Allie owns them, but she might. I don't know. I'd be willing to read them now that I've seen the show, because it's different, and like like I want to like a lot of people complained like about the mythology of the show and that kind of dropped off. Like we don't know anything else about the Lord of the Light. We don't know anything about the Drowned God. We don't know anything about the Three-Eyed Raven and what that all entails other than Bran is it, and that's all we know.
Yeah. We don't know why the Night King has, even though Night King's not really a character in the book, has a connection with Bran,
Yeah.
you know.
Like there's a bunch of there's a tweet that I saw. What Azor Ahai? I don't know. I don't even remember if that was said at a point. Like I don't remember that at all. We don't know anything else about the Faceless Men other than what we got with Arya. Like if there's more than just the one guy, because we only saw the one guy she interacted with, and then that other girl, but Arya murdered her and ripped her face off. And then somebody put the Children of the Forest, but I thought they all died. Like, didn't the children that Bran and that other kid meet when they went to find the Three-Eyed Raven sacrifice themselves to save Bran?
Yeah,
and they were
much.
saying, and those ones were like, we're the last of the Children of the Forest. That's what I remember.
That might be the case. It was so long ago, but
yeah, because
they could have been the last.
Because like in the show, at the very least, they're the reason the Night King exists, and he was hunting them down, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they created the Night King by stabbing that obsidian shard into his chest.
And then they had to have done some magic to make that so it doesn't just kill him. Because from what I've seen in the show, if someone gets stabbed with obsidian, they don't just turn into a White Walker.
Yeah.
In fact, it kills White Walkers.
Well, because the Children of the Forest have like magical powers. So.
Yeah. It's funny to be like, well, they stabbed some obsidian into a dude and he turned. It's like, well, there's more to it than that.
Yeah. I was hoping to learn more. I mean, people wrote up like their fan stories of how they would have wrote the story, and like some of that stuff was really good.
Well, yeah, fan fiction can be really good. Like, there's some people who like are really good at picking apart like different parts of stories and elaborate on them, even if they're not a part of the team that makes the stuff.
I mean, that's what the ending this last season felt like, though. It felt like poorly written fan fiction. You know, at times, maybe not everything, but like,
I get that. I had a friend since season 7, so the season before this one, has said that the show has felt more and more like fan fiction. I think since season 6 or so. I don't remember.
The end of 6 was pretty solid, but the 7 felt like fan fiction. Like how they would go out to capture a zombie to prove to Cersei, like that's all fan fiction, because we know even if they show her, she's not going to help them.
I mean,
she's ruthless.
I get the desperation of them being like, we have to fight for everybody that's living. But yeah, it made like Cersei was never going to help. So, whoops. What else? Is there anything else I want to talk about for this particular episode and not the series as a whole? Sansa's costumes this season were on fleek. I love her fucking dress with like the breastplate looking like leather armor almost costume that most of the season looked awesome for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, everything about the show other than the writing has been amazing.
Yeah, costuming, set design, cinematography, all those things. It felt like none of that ever faltered.
Yeah, never. And it was just, I mean, the show will always go down as one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah.
Regardless of how the ending is received, but like just how massive the show was, and just it broke records, and so a good show.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what, people were going to be disappointed with the end, just because of how many people were watching and how many people were dead set on like Jon being king or Dany continuing to be queen. Like they were like, this is my preconceived notion of how the show should end, and then when it doesn't meet that, they're like, worst show ever. I hate the fact that I wasted my life watching it. And it's like
people who name their children after Dany
or any of the characters that are bad. They're like, oh, whoops.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's somebody's own fault for having expectations that, like, you can't go into a show being like, this is how it's going to end. And if it doesn't, I hate it. It's like, well, you're not a writer. So, like, it's not going to end that way, most likely. So you're just going to hate the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the ending was good. I liked this final episode. I liked that everything wrapped up. Not super nicely, like, you know, I like the fact that we get the last scene where it's like showing all of the Starks going to do things, because the show started with Starks and it ends with Starks, because they're kind of the main focal point of the show. Whereas I know pretty, like, some people don't like that because, you know, they're like, well, Starks are the good guys, meh. But I don't know. I liked it because I'm a basic bitch, I guess.
That Starks are the good guys?
I mean, I don't know.
That's weird. No, I remembered what I thought was kind of silly about the episode is Grey Worm has his hostages for whatever reason. And they're trying to negotiate a way of, like, punishing them. So for Tyrion, Bran goes, you know, what better way than punishing him than making him fix his mistakes? Yeah, what a punishment. You're making this man the second most powerful guy in Westeros. I'm sure he's making a lot of money from this position. It's like, Grey Worm, you're a dumbass. Like, you think this is a punishment?
I do like the fact that Tyrion's like, no, I don't. Please, no. I don't want to be the hand to Kin. Because he's been the hand to how many different people? And he's, like, been like, oh, God, because it's just so stressful. And he's just like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, that's too bad. You don't get a choice. It's either this or you get to do some other fuck all shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah. And I like how Bran's like, and I don't want to be king. It's like, yeah, you do. Lying sack of shit.
You lying wheelie legs, no feely son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking. So there are people online who are like, here's how I would have ended the show. And you want to know who had one of the not good takes of the night?
Who?
I'm hoping this gets us on a drama alert so we get more people listening to the podcast. But apparently Ninja had a take on how the episode, how the season should have ended, or series. Let me see if I can. I mean, I should be able to find it fairly quickly if I just type in the word ninja, because, you know, he's fucking ginormous. Okay, so here it is. He says, "Here's how Game of Thrones should have ended." In his opinion, because
it's so ready for this.
This is not Dany's queen, so nobody tries to get rid of her. She just goes around freeing people, quote unquote. Jon Snow is exiled to Castle Black, which why? Because if he didn't kill her, it seemed like he was well and good staying by her side.
Yeah.
Sansa and Arya disagree and go back north. To die, because that's what Daenerys would do, because she was going to burn Winterfell to the ground. Ending. Jon Snow, asleep in his bed at Castle Black, gets stabbed by the Children of the Forest, turns into a White Walker, cycle continues. Boy, am I glad he isn't a writer, because I would have been...
That's gotta be a joke. He's gotta be joking.
There is no lull. There is no tweet after being like, "No, I'm kidding, guys." It's just, that's what he said the show should have ended like.
Jesus Christ.
See, no matter what anybody thinks about the ending of the show right now, it could always be fucking worse.
Yeah, of course it can, but, like, these are paid writers, you know, and not some, like, casual fan who plays Fortnite.
I'm just saying, like, fans that, like, we may not like the ending, but, like, a lot of people that don't like the ending think their ending's better, and it's way the fuck worse.
I think you just got into Game of Thrones too.
I mean, if you could have caught up in the time it takes to get back to the season, like, to watch. I know,
but, like, when you're just getting, that's not what I'm saying. Is, like, a lot of people have been exploring this universe and this story for 10 years.
Yeah, because the books have been around for so long.
Well, plus, nearly 10 years to show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, like, understand the characters a lot better than someone who just watched it the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And they understand the world a bit better. So, yeah, that's a terrible ending. I would, like... I would have freaked out. I've been like, this is why did I why is Jon Snow banished to Castle Black?
It makes no sense.
Why does Dany even care about Castle Black? She doesn't care about the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes less sense than what actually happened for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because like, I'm not even gonna try to get into justifying that ending because what? It's still funny to me. I don't know. Did we? I feel like I've got to do a rewatch of the early seasons because I swear to God, the children they encountered when they were beyond the wall and they found the three-eyed raven before he passes the power on to Bran were the last children of the forest. I swear that's a thing.
Yeah, that's probably, or they're so scarce they're like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in the north somewhere. I don't know, like
Also,
a small tribe.
Why would they be like, oh, well, I mean,
Why would they make another Night King?
yeah, why would they make more White Walkers? They were like, yeah, the White Walkers were trying to kill us because they know we could kill them because we can make something just as strong as them. So we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
It would make as much sense as somebody being like Elon Musk being like, I'm going to make a car that can kill people, and it killed people. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make another car that kills people. What? Like,
Well, no, it would be like he makes a car that kills people, and that car is going after Elon Musk.
yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to make another car that does that. It's like, why?
And it said target priority myself. Wait, no, wait. And he's like, I fucked up again.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I mean, yeah. For me personally, if I could have, I don't really mind Bran as king. Like, I guess it's fine. But I would kind of prefer having a Baratheon back on the throne and having Genji is
Gendry.
Gendry. I always get his name wrong. I was kind of hoping he would be king, and then I would still have Dany dying, obviously.
Yeah, I don't see how you can have this ending work without Dany dying in some way, shape, or form.
She's so like power hungry and like would not give it up.
I thought it was a little weird that Tyrion, when he was being captured and him and Jon were talking, that he was like, we both loved our queen. You a little more successfully than me. I was like, is right now the time you're gonna make a joke about him fucking Dany? Is right now the appropriate time for that? I mean, it doesn't seem out of character for Tyrion to try to like lighten the mood a bit.
I guess what's at stake is so intense that I don't.
I mean, it's not the first time he's been like threatened to death and he's made a weird joke about fucking. So I'm not that surprised.
I'm pretty sure the script in that Jon Snow's like, I can't believe she's like I can't believe she did that, you know, or there's a line like that, and then a couple lines later he's like, well, she lost her friend, you know what? It's like, wait, first you like are upset that she did it, but then you're trying to justify it. I don't understand.
It's somebody who's going through turmoil. Like I don't think it's that unbelievable because he's trying to justify it and justify standing by her side without taking action against her. He does love her. That's the thing, is even after learning that he's her nephew and like that's his aunt, that's his blood, and learning that after he fell in love with her and still being in love with her, he's trying to justify not doing anything because he's in love with her still. Even after everything that's happened, he's like, I still love her and I don't want to do this, and I know I have to do this, but I don't want to, you know?
Yeah, even though the show did a terrible job of making their love convincing,
it just kind of happened. It's just
it's just not convincing.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever. I don't want to be a negative Nelly. I enjoyed the show overall.
I do think him killing Dany so have you read the books that are out?
No, I'm about to finish the first one.
Okay. So one of the things that's different that Allie told me about is when the Free Folk attack Castle Black and that kid kills Ygritte. In the books, Jon has to kill Ygritte.
Huh.
So like it would have been like it would have been better had he done that in the show as well, because it show like it's like no matter what he does,
Foreshadowing.
yeah, it ends in tragedy that he has to kill his lover because they're doing the wrong thing, like quote unquote wrong thing. But instead, for whatever reason, they didn't do that in the show because artistic differences or something. So it would have been better had that happened early on in the show, because it would have like this would have made more sense. He would have his I don't want to do it would have made a lot more sense if that was the case, because he's like, I did this already. I had to kill the person I loved. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Though as soon
there's
as
a
I
lot-
saw him with the dagger, I was like, he doesn't carry a dagger. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Though I really thought Arya was going to kill her, because, I mean, she snuck past everybody real easy.
Yeah, yeah. She just was like there. Yeah, because it felt like her whole arc of like becoming a master assassin didn't really pay off at
I
all.
mean, she killed the Night King.
Yeah, but that didn't feel good because like that wasn't her story.
Oh, I had
you
to
know?
change my pants afterward. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I was just like, wow. Again, I don't mind her killing the Night King. It's just how it happened and how Jon Snow didn't even fight the Night King. It was just kind of disappointing. I just thought she would kill the queen.
Yeah.
Honestly, when she's like, she's like, I came here to kill Cersei, but your queen did it got here first or something. So, and I thought she was gonna say, so now I have to kill her or something like that. And we just didn't get that. I mean, she killed Walder Frey, so
Yeah. And then
with her abilities.
she also killed the one dude in the brothel when he was like beating little like teenage girls.
Yeah, which is silly.
I mean, it was he was on her list.
Yeah, it's just that whole storyline is pretty bad. The Faceless. Like, because she finds that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's locked up. He changes his face.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when she first meets him and he's like, he changes his face to a different face.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she sees him at the training facility in Bravos, I think, he's a black guy, right? And then, do you remember that? It's like a black guy who opens the door, standing there.
I don't remember.
Well, you got to look back, and then he takes that face off, and then it's the guy she met when she first met him. So it almost looked like he was wearing two faces.
Well, she met him when he was in a cage. Remember, on the transport on a fucking wagon,
right? And he had that face on.
I thought
but
he wasn't
then he
wearing
took
a
it
face
off.
then.
No, he had a face because he took it off and he looked completely different.
I don't remember. Like, those are so long away.
The whole it's a mess because they're training her to be no one. She ends up killing a super deadly assassin that has years of training, and Arya just had a couple broken up months of training.
But Arya trained while she was blind, and the other girl did not. So
no, they all train that like that.
I don't know.
At least in the books, they all train blind.
Well, then they didn't do that in the show. That's the show's fault.
And also, those assassins are known for killing people and making it look like an accident, like they fell or something. So why would that trained assassin stab Arya in the middle of the street when she could have just made it look like an accident? And then Arya surviving those stabs while going into a sewer of shit. Anyways.
He has feelings.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of that stuff because I feel like a couple people were like, oh, we're going to do a rewatch up to the first episode of this season. I didn't do that because Allie started to do it. And I was like, I'm just going to watch the season as it is.
I did like a recap kind of thing, went through clips and stuff and rethought about scenes and
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to overthink. It's a TV show, so
yeah. I mean, we're talking about it, so you're allowed to air grievances. because
Yeah,
it's
I know,
not
but I just
perfect.
don't want to. I don't want to be super negative. Like I guess like I just want to get that out,
Yeah.
and then I'm done. And it's like I can look back at Game of Thrones as being a mostly great thing.
Yeah, like 'cause there's still lots of really cool things about the show. Like even just the first like I like the first episode of the first season a lot, where it's like we're here in Winterfell, we're learning about the world. Like this guy sees what he thinks is a fucking zombie, and he'd rather have his head cut off than be sent back to the wall. And he's just like, yeah, do that, kill me, please. Like,
Yeah,
like it's like that whole thing with like them getting their little direwolf puppies and stuff. I liked all that stuff, and then even the big moments of the show with like the red wedding and the fucking like when Arya abandons the Hound and all, like it's just there's so many good things for the show, like so many good character moments and set pieces and stuff that it's just I can't dislike the show even if the last two, in my opinion, the last two seasons are weak. Like I think season 6, like 1 through 6 are good, and 5, 7 and 8 are not great. Like they're not good
yeah,
as a whole. I know some people think, I think it's like season 3 or 4, wherever the Sand Vipers come in is not a good season because their plot line doesn't matter. I didn't hate it. It doesn't like it. Obviously, that plot line doesn't make a lot of sense or hold a lot of weight to the story at all. So I can understand why people think that season is weak. I still think the writing and stuff is better than what we got in the last 2 seasons still.
yeah,
So
yeah.
fight me. No, don't, please. My groin hurts. But yeah, I don't know. I think the show is good. One thing I get the Drogon destroying the throne still doesn't make sense to me. Like the fact that he understood that Dany died and he was sad, and it was almost like a Lion King like moment where like Simba's like, "Dad, get up." It's like Drogon's like, "Dany, get up." Like he's just trying really hard, and that actually made me feel sad because it's like, man, poor Drogon.
I felt sad like when she was going on and on about her righteousness, and it's like sad to see a character that was supposed to be so
you were the
pure,
chosen one. You're supposed to lead Westeros into glory, not ruin it.
Yeah, basically like that. So it's kind of sad to see that fall.
Yeah. It's too bad we didn't have more episodes for the fall.
Yeah, it would have been even more emotional.
Yeah. Though I have seen people online compare Anakin and Dany basically as a 1-to-1, like their character development is like exactly the same. Because it's like somebody I was watching made a video where it was like Anakin in like the beginning part of the movie is like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn you in, Chancellor," and like 15 minutes later, "Yeah, I'll kill kids, whatever."
Yeah.
So it sucks. Both of those characters were ruined by shit writing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, because Anakin, like, not to go on a weird Star Wars tangent, but like his downfall should have been awesome. Like him turning into Darth Vader should have been emotional and like fucking gripping and awesome. Instead, George Lucas can't write to save his life, so it was not great.
Well, it's amazing how poorly written those are. The newer ones are even worse. So
I have no opinion because I have not seen any past The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's great, man. And I'm not gonna see the third one because like it's just Star Wars to me is 1 through 6. Like, that's
but for me it's 4 through 6.
I still include the prequels just because
I don't
part
like
of the
them.
story.
I don't
like them either, but like it's not like we're gonna get a remake of 1 through 3.
I don't expect that either. Like I find it weird that a lot of people recently have been like, "No, the prequels are actually really good." I'm like, "No, they have no idea what they're trying to be." Like the movie is like, "This is a kids movie." Then why is there dense political dialogue within the first 20 minutes? What is happening? Like it's very clear that George Lucas, like, I mean, we've seen the fucking pizza rolls videos. So we both
Yeah.
know like the problems with those movies.
Yeah,
Is that a
the
Red Letter Meteor? Yeah. Okay.
Plinkett or
Plinkett reviews,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great.
It's so good. But yeah, like we are. There's so many problems with the prequels. It's just I can't.
It's a definitely a bigger letdown than Game of Thrones last season.
Oh,
I think.
110,000%. Like, could you? I mean, as a kid, I was like, Qui-Gon Jinn is so cool. But like going back to try to watch those movies, I'm like, fuck, this is boring.
Yeah.
It's like, why with like the beginning scene where it's like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan being like, oh, we're gonna do negotiations. It's like, why are Jedi sent to negotiate as ambassadors to end an illegal trade blockade?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Why do they try to assassinate said negotiators instantly? And then
What?
the scene that comes of that is cool because we get to see Jedi doing cool Jedi shit, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Ugh.
I like how this episode's become a what the fuck Star Wars.
Because I don't understand people being like the prequels are actually pretty good. It's like, no, they're not. You're looking at it with the rosiest shaded tinted glasses I have ever seen.
Yeah, they're not good. Yeah, there's a million things. And Darth Maul, they shouldn't have killed him off like in the first movie. He should have been the main villain until the end where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Well, I mean, apparently he's not dead. In
Oh,
the
don't
Clone
even
Wars
get me
show.
started with that bullshit. It's such bullshit. And people try to defend that. They're like, oh, that's because a lightsaber stops the bleeding. I was like, and he uses the Force to keep him alive. It's like, God damn it. Like, nobody dies in Star Wars. And the Emperor laughing at the end of the trailer announcement of the newest Star Wars coming out. I'm like, what? Is the Emperor alive now? Nobody dies?
See, the funniest thing, I watched somebody who review the trailer, and they were like, is the Emperor alive? Like, apparently they came out and they were like on the reveal at the like some event. I don't remember if it was like a Star Wars con or what kind of convention. The actor who played the Emperor came out, and the director or the writers or producers, someone high up was like, no, the Emperor's in the movie, like as a character, and they were like, how? Like, when you go back and watch episode 6, Darth Vader literally throws him down that conduit and he explodes and vaporizes. He explodes. How is he still alive?
Yeah.
Like, how are you
And
supposed to
even
just
if he
hand
does
wave
survive
this?
that, even if he does survive that, the Death Star blows up again.
Yeah, and then it has all that debris lands on the planet. Like, there's so many different things. It's like,
Use the Force.
So a lot of people are like, well, how can such and such do that with the Force? I'm like, I've never once questioned the Force and what it does or what it can and cannot do, because it's literally, ooh, space magic. That's like, other than midichlorians, they really haven't been like, hey, here are the limitations and all the stuff behind the Force. From what I can remember, I haven't watched a bunch, 4 different movies at this point. Or no, 3, because I haven't seen Solo, Rogue One, or Last Jedi. So there's 3 movies I haven't seen that may or may not have put some limitations on the Force. But as far as I know, they've never been like, space magic can't do that. So I don't know.
It's just,
I know books used to go into what the Force can and can't do, but a lot of books are no longer canon. So fuck it, I guess.
yeah, it's just.
This episode has rapidly become things we're disappointed by.
Yeah.
But I'm disappointed less by the Game of Thrones ending than Star Wars I've ever been by Star Wars.
Yeah. And like what it's really become, it's just gross, like corporate toy.
I mean, it's always been toy stuff. Like since technically 6, but at the time it was episode 3. Like, why the fucking Ewoks only exist because they were gonna make toys out of them.
Yeah, I know, but like that was because of how successful 4 and 5 were.
Yeah, but like like people go to like that mentality. It's like these new ones are bad because of this. It's like that's existed since the 80s. Like this has been a 30-year thing.
Oh yeah, but it's just like it's the level of what it's at is horrendous.
Yeah, I've also seen people say that Star Wars fans are the reason Star Wars sucks, and I don't know if
Not
that's
true Star Wars fan. It's the casual like every time they pop a trailer. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
I don't know.
Like more Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
anyways, not to be a negative Nelly.
Yeah, not to be all negative, but Star Wars sucks, asshole. No, if you like the new Star Wars, good for you. I haven't seen any of them, and when I watched Force Awakens, I thought it was fine. Like I didn't.
I didn't think it was great, but it wasn't bad. But dude, you got to watch You got to get like.
I mean,
I've heard glass of wine.
I don't like wine.
Sit down, get a nice glass of apple cider, whatever you drink, and watch that shit and just have a field day because it's so bad.
I've heard Rose as a character doesn't make sense and is inconsequential. And
that's just the icing.
I've also heard about Leia's floating through the space and Mary Poppinsing with the Force and stuff. Like I've heard all of the disappointing things about the movie, also killing Snoke and all that. So like I'm like, here's how you know that I don't give a shit enough to watch the movie. I watched The Force Awakens with the cliffhanger of Rey giving Luke his lightsaber back and was like, I don't care what happens next. Like that, I should have been like, what? Oh. There's Luke. What's going to happen? No, I was like, meh.
That's for the best because I'm sure you saw what he did at that point.
Oh, he drank that milk.
Yeah, he threw the lightsaber away. Like, oh, boy.
Then he drank some space titty milk. That weird blue-green space titty milk.
It just, the whole story was awful and... whatever. This is about Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about why The Last Jedi is.
We could do it. That could be an entire hour-and-a-half episode by itself.
Yeah, that's for another time. But I think that's all we had to say about Game of Thrones. Yeah, we're no longer talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, overall I like the show, and I know like not yesterday, but the day before that or whatever, I was like, I don't know if, and after knowing the ending, I'd recommend watching the show. I think the show ends in a note where I'd be like, if you want to see how they got to this point, to where Bran became king and everything, then 110%. If for whatever reason you watched the last episode of the entire series and was like, maybe I should watch the show, then
confusing.
Yeah, like who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Why is that guy in a wheelchair? What? There were wheelchairs back then? Like. Yeah. But if you were, for whatever reason, like, I want to know how all these characters got here, then 100% I think you should watch the rest of the season or series because...
I still think... Because, like, even though it doesn't end in a amazing way, it's still the journey that's exciting and, like, all these amazing... Like, Tywin, such a great character, and you have all these awesome characters, and it's just, I think it's totally worth watching again. I mean, I'm probably going to watch it again and probably just stop after season 4.
Man, what a great series. Too bad it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Or maybe 6, because there's some closure after 6, like they kill Ramsay.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that the episode where Tywin dies was originally aired on Father's Day?
Yes, and
it's so good.
Catelyn died on Mother's Day, I believe.
So did Cersei.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Maybe it was Cersei.
Because that was literally last week. Like, I called my mom and was like, Happy Mother's Day. And then I watched Cersei get crunched to death by a handful of bricks.
Yeah.
Like maybe 10 bricks. I don't know. That was funny. But yeah. Game of Thrones. If you had to rate the series as a whole, like out of like 1 out of 10, whole series front to back, every season, every episode, what would you give it?
Like a 7.
A 7? Okay, that's still above average. Like, 'cause I'm gonna say 5 is average, so that way the scale makes sense. Cause
like it's an amazing show, and
Yeah.
like I said, if it was the first 4 seasons I'm judging, 10 out of 10, like would
Yeah.
watch again.
Yeah, because I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people are used to video game scores where a 7 is a terrible, terrible thing and that you should never touch it. 7 is above average, and in the only reason our scale for rating video games and movies and stuff is so broken is a lot of those things come from America, and the American grading system is broken because a 70 is you passed. Like
Yeah.
whereas a 50 is anything below a 70 is you fail. And I think that's the main reason why grading systems are so fucked up, and especially for rating video games and stuff. That's a different topic. We're going to get into that if I ever remember that bullshit. We'll get into that in some other time. But 7 above average. I would give it like a 7.5. I think I enjoyed it more. Like, I don't have as many problems with the series overall. Like a lot of the stuff you found faults with, I was just like, meh. I'm not as critical in a lot of stuff, seeing as how I like superhero movies and stuff. So I don't have a lot of room to talk about certain plot holes and stuff, because the suspension of disbelief you have to watch a superhero movie and plot holes is much bigger than something like this. So
Yeah.
I would go slightly higher. But yeah,
Like 8.
I said 7.5. Damn, listen to
Oh.
me when I speak. Jeez.
Well, yeah. No,
You never take me out anymore. You don't listen to me when I speak.
kill me.
But yeah, I would still recommend to watch the show if you listened to this and you were like, well, I'm kind of interested. What a weird way to get into Game of Thrones, about to have 2 people talk about the end and then rage about Star Wars for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Game of Thrones series. That's it. It's done. It's in the books. There is a prequel series that's going to happen during the Age of Heroes that takes place, like, isn't that like hundreds of years before this show starts?
I think so, yeah. Like
Yeah.
the First Men.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was,
Or no, not the First Men, but the
yeah, because the Age of Heroes is like,
the Age of Heroes is about
Yeah.
isn't it about how the Targaryens
like rose to power and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
so. Like the dragons are like readily, like there's a bunch of dragons and stuff. I think that'll be cool. I don't know if it will be good, but I think I'll be interested in to see how it goes, to see if there's more there's more of the mythos to the show there, and we learn more about like the magic and stuff. Whereas this was more centered around the politics of, the throne and getting to the throne and all of that stuff, but yeah, hopefully that's good. Yeah, I think that's it. How's our good old girl Josephine doing?
She is good.
There we
So
go.
yeah.
Much unlike all of these dragons, Josephine is good.
Yes. Mother of pigs.
Pixelated Apollo, first of his name, father of pigs.
No, mother of pigs.
Okay, mother of pigs.
Doesn't make sense, but
She suckles from that teat so hard when she was little.
okay. Well, why?
Because you're mother of pigs.
Yeah, but Danny was mother of dragons, and they weren't sucking from her teat.
That's because they're meat eaters. They needed meat, not milk. Lizards don't suckle from teats.
Yeah, they don't drink milk, but whatever.
Josephine's a mammal. Mammals suckle from teats until they can eat food.
Well, I got her when she could eat food. So.
Okay, well, that's fine then. But yeah, I think that's everything. I don't got anything else to talk about.
Yeah, no, I think that's it.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed Game of Thrones. And if you didn't, well, you probably put it somewhere on the internet. You can put it here too. You can leave your thoughts about the show and the episode like the specific last episode in the comments, of this episode of our podcast, which, you can listen to on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, and Podbean. I'm Nico, otherwise known as Nico Powerful on Twitter, and Nico Powerful on Twitch and YouTube. Your Pixelated Apollo.
Oh, sorry. Pixelated Apollo. I'm on YouTube and Twitter.
And yeah, that's this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and God bless.
Stay clean, stay polished.